Welcome. You're watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television with me, Waris Mohammed. Let's start with the main headlines. President of Somaliland opens the third Kulmiye conference. The conclusion of a training program for the Ministry of Water Resources staff. Deadly tornadoes sweep across central and southern United States. President of Somaliland Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silania opened the third conference for ruling party Kulmiye, which took place in the capital city, and made a speech. The President Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silania provided a speech at the assembly of the ruling political party, focusing on the achievements made since the ruling political party came to power, towards enhancing the country's international cooperation and ensuring a collective government policy to increase employment and women participation in the political spectrum. President Ahmed Silania, speaking on the achievements made towards augmenting social services, include improving infrastructure, water resources, exploration efforts, human rights, employment of youth, and encouraging the minority people's participation in the political and economic fields of this nation. The President added that the government has and continues with its commitment to making sure that the investment opportunities are encouraged, including urging the diaspora to return home to invest in their country and consequently increase revenues. The chairman of the ruling party, Kulmiye, Musa Bihi Abdi, spoken at the event. He elaborated on the change and development efforts being exercised during the tenure of the current president and pledged that the ruling political party will continue serving as a beacon of progress and democracy. The Kulmiye conference had in attendance a huge number of keynote governmental and non-governmental officials. The Kulmiye conference had in attendance a huge number of keynote governmental and non-governmental officials. Some of them spoke to our reporters on how they see this step for Kulmiye. Manager of Somaliland National Television, Khadar Ali Gas, speaking to our reporters, highlighted the important role Somaliland National Television took in covering this event and stated that our reporters were keeping the nation updated with all steps taken in order to finally hold this conference ever since it was announced. He continued expressing his admiration of the national dialogue this administration calls for and pointed out that our government rules the country with absolute democracy and that this conference marks a step forward for all Somaliland. The presidency's spokesman, Ahmed Saleban Duhul, chairman of the National Women Organization, Anisa Noor Igal, governors of Sanag and Togder, mayor of Salahle, while speaking to our reporters, all expressed their admiration to this fruitful initiative made by the ruling party Kulmiye to hold the national dialogue, which shows how civilized our nation is. They stated that this conference is one of the most successful political conferences for the great understanding people will have to the policies of this ruling party. Attendees told the reporters that they expect this two-day conference to end with great results and that it's going to increase understanding between the government of Somaliland and its people. They continued showing support and thankfulness for the policies of the current government of Somaliland. Director General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Osman Hussein Warsame, took part in a meeting discussing ways of spreading the current vaccination campaign for children, which will continue during this week. Director General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Osman Hussein Warsame, took part in a meeting to discuss ways of improving children vaccination campaign that was undergoing in the capital city for a while. This meeting was held in the Ministry of Health headquarters and had in attendance officials from the ministry and vaccination staff. Director General for Public Health Department Abib Aden Noor, speaking to the attendees, stated that this one-week campaign is designed to raise awareness on mother and child health and amplify efforts on providing vaccination to all children to prevent some of the worst diseases that endangers their lives. He also pointed out that such campaign also takes part in several places around the world in this time of the year. On the other hand, Director General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Osman Hussein Warsame, urged the people of Somaliland, especially mothers, to make sure their children are vaccinated and to take advantage of this short time this campaign will take place. The Director General continued stating that this campaign is taking place in collaboration with the Ministry of Religious Affairs and the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies, and pledged to pay the necessary efforts in hopes of spreading this campaign in all regions of Somaliland. He, in conclusion, urged the media to take their role of spreading this campaign by raising the nation's awareness on the importance of vaccinating their children to help them stay in good health and prevent all sorts of diseases. A ceremonial event was held to provide certificates for the staff of the Ministry of Water Resources after finishing a training program where they took short courses. The event had in attendance the chairman of the Civil Service Institute and other governmental officials and participants of the training workshop. Chairman of the Somaliland Civil Service Institute, Mohammed Mihille Baqarre, speaking on the need for such a training program to ensure more progress in the public service, stated that the Civil Servants Institute took different approaches in providing shorter courses for the government employees at the various institutions, ministries, and government offices to enhance their knowledge and performance. The chairman stressed the necessity of such a training workshop, which was not the only one of its level, to increase the performance of government employees and increase the services being provided by the ministries, including the Ministry of Water Resources. Director General of the Ministry of Water Resources spoke at the event, and he commended the efforts of the Civil Servants Institute and urged the employees who participated in the training workshop to use the knowledge they learned from the workshop as a tool to better serve the citizens and make sure that the Ministry of Water Resources becomes one of the most performing government institutions. Participants of the training workshop speaking at the event explained the role that the training workshop is sought to play in the betterment of services provided by the Ministry of Water Resources in achieving the ultimate objective of ensuring that every citizen has access to clean and adequate water supplies. The event concluded with certificates being provided for 14 employees of the Ministry of Water Resources. You're still tuned into the English news program on Somaliland National Television. You can also watch our news online on somalilandntv.com. And now for the international headlines in detail. At least 12 people have been killed in a series of tornadoes in the south-central United States. Rescue workers searched through the night among the rubble for survivors. One person was killed in Quapaw in Oklahoma, where half the town of 900 people was badly damaged. The states of Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa and Missouri were also caught in the path of the twisters, along with Arkansas and Oklahoma, with one leaving a 65-kilometer trail of destruction. One witness reported a tornado almost 1 kilometer wide crossing a major motorway. Entire neighborhoods were, according to the authorities, wiped out with the power lines down, trees ripped up and roads blocked, making rescue efforts hazardous. Over the weekend, storms also struck the eastern part of the U.S., killing a child in North Carolina. Early voting is underway ahead of Wednesday's national poll in Iraq to elect members to the country's 328-seat parliament. They are the first such election since the withdrawal of the U.S. forces in 2011. Police forces in the oil-rich north of Iraq, Kirkuk, are casting their ballots now, as they will not be able to on Wednesday. A recent upsurge in violence in the country means the army and police will need to be on duty, manning polling stations and looking after security when the rest of the country goes to the polls. Rise in violence threatening to subvert an Iraqi election. So what's new? Well, the election posters lining the streets give an idea of what is changing in Iraq. The number of women running for parliament has doubled. This time around are more than 2,600 female candidates. That's slightly less than a third of the overall total. Meanwhile, the country's electoral commission is getting ready for Wednesday's national poll. These elections will be a key test for the country's fledgling democracy. Officials want the process to be transparent, but most of all, safe. A tough ask with violence building and insurgents trying to disrupt the poll. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. You can join us tomorrow at the same time. Until then, goodbye.